Well, that's about all the time that we have here on the show, but leaving you, as we've been highlighting last week as well, we got you some snippets of the top 5 economic reforms that happened in 2012. We're talking about 2012 and the year that was, and the top 5 business controversies right now. Take a look, and thanks a lot for watching.
2012 will go down as yet another year of controversies in India's history. Arguably the biggest controversy of the year was former Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee's decision to amend tax laws retrospectively.
India is not a no-tax country. Supreme Court told that you clarify the intention of the legislature about the determination of the tax.
An amendment aimed at ensuring that Vodafone has to pay nearly 20,000 crore in taxes and penalties to the Indian government.
In respect of Vodafone case, it is not with any vindictive attitude, but I shall have to prevent my own right, otherwise there will be outflow from the treasury.
What followed was an uproar, not just from corporate India, but foreign investors who feared that ad hoc changes in India's tax regime would hinder their ability to do business in India. The controversy dented confidence, impacted potential fund flows, and eventually forced the government to rethink its stance. A committee headed by Parthasarathi Shom was set up to look at issues which recommended that retrospective amendments be restricted to the rarest of rare cases. The committee report now lies with the Prime Minister to take a final call on the issue. Many of the year's controversies continue to be around the issue of natural resource allocation. The biggest of them all, an uproar surrounding coal block allocation, which may have cost the Exchequer 185,591 crore rupees, a saga that came to be known as Coalgate. Like many other recent controversies, it began with the Comptroller and Auditor General alleging that valuable coal blocks had been allotted at throwaway prices to corporates. The controversy engulfed the highest levels of government, including the Prime Minister, who held the coal portfolio for a brief period. Parliament was disrupted for an entire session. Nearly 100 small and big corporates were named as possible beneficiaries. A CBI investigation followed. The Supreme Court continues to review the case. An interministerial group is deliberating on possible deallocation of nearly 80 coal mines. And as the year closes, the government is trying to amend the Coal Mines Act to make coal block allocations more transparent. The controversy over iron ore mining continued well into 2012 too. The two mineral-rich states of Goa and Karnataka continue to face the Supreme Court's wrath due to wide-scale illegal mining. In October, all mining activities were halted in Goa. Export and transportation of mined ore was also stopped. In December, Supreme Court's Central Empowered Committee recommended a continued stay on mining and a review of all mining licenses. The final order will be pronounced on January 4th. Until then, operations at companies like Sesa Goa remains at a standstill. Down south in Karnataka, the mining ban continued till September when the Supreme Court allowed 18 Category A mines to start functioning. The situation on the ground though remains grim and hardly any ore is being mined, leaving companies like JSW Steel and Kalyani Steel to face a constant battle in securing adequate and affordable ore. In February 2012, the telecom sector, which had been engulfed in controversy even in 2011, felt its biggest policy shock yet. The Supreme Court, which was then hearing a case on irregularities on license allocation, passed an order cancelling 122 telecom licenses.
We are not challenging the order of the Supreme Court to the extent that it cancels the 122 licenses.
The judgment followed the CAG's claim that the government had lost 1.76 lakh crores by failing to auction licenses. The highest judicial authority went a step further, asking the government to auction spectrum in future. The government followed the court's directive and set up a fresh 2G auction in the month of November. However, a high reserve price of 14,000 crore rupees was set for pan-India spectrum, which meant there was hardly any interest and the government only managed to collect 9,400 crores. Another round of auctions is now scheduled for early 2013. Reliance and controversy have become two sides of the same coin, the most recent battle being fought over revising the price of KG D6 gas. Reports of Reliance seeking a premature revision in prices sparked an uproar within government circles and industries, which would have had to bear the increased cost of gas. The report was denied by Reliance, but the controversy did not end there. A face-off between Reliance Industries and the Comptroller and Auditor General, which had been brewing behind the scenes, hit the headlines. The question was whether CAG can audit Reliance Industries' performance in the KG-D6 basin and its finances. The bigger issue was whether CAG can audit the accounts and performance of a private firm. While the questions remain unanswered, conciliatory efforts were made on both parts, and a middle of a financial audit, but not a performance audit, may have been reached.